We've got like our weatherization program, we've got a food program. So we have quite a bit of funding that we get from the government for that. And also the census itself is super easy. I think Shane and Olivia's done theirs as well, and it's not taken more than 5 minutes. And the last day to actually do it is July 31st. And so I know like you have like so many days to do it from home, and then that's when I think the census will actually come knocking and really trying to make sure that you get your census done. Anything else to add, ladies?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of want to echo what you say too, because I think it's really important. I know that in the Portland Metro, we have about, in the 2010 census, it collected about 2,000 or 3,000 almost Hmong people here. So I know it's really important for us to get counted. I think total in my household, there was about 9 of us. So I did want to, for those of you who haven't completed the census, I did want to inform you. I know I got a couple of phone calls from family members on asking for birthdays. So when you do fill out the census, there is a section in there. Once you put in your number of people in your household, it's going to ask you for their name and their birthday as well. So it's not a scam. It is something that you have to enter in. So again, I had 9 people in my household, and it took me less than 5 minutes to get it done. So I would highly encourage all of you to go in and do it. And if you didn't get anything in the mail with your code, I believe that if you just go onto the website and you put in your address, that you can actually complete the census that way as well. So there are, a variety of ways to do it. So I would encourage all of you to complete that, because we want to make sure that we get counted.
Yeah, and I've definitely reached out to like my family. So those, I mean, that's the easiest thing you can do, right? Just like ask your siblings, ask your parents, like anybody that I talk to, I'm like, hey, did you do the census yet? And I'm sure people are super annoyed by it. But the importance of that is, I mean, just so big, because especially right now with everything that's happening, I think that could be, easily like pushed back and also a priority. But again, super important. And if there's nothing else to add, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the housing market. So this kind of came up because I actually had to refinance my house. And so I was, because I think a couple weeks ago, interest rates were like below 4%. And then I went back and talked to my mortgage company, and they said it had gone up. And then I talked to them this past week, and they said it went down. So I'm kind of curious. Shane is a realtor here in Portland. And so I wanted her to kind of talk a little bit about, interest rates and the housing market just around the U.S. and, buying and selling. I think with the people kind of nervous about the economy and jobs and whatnot, I think that's kind of on people's minds.
And yes, you do bring up a good point, what's happening right now in this economy due to the coronavirus. And so one thing that we do want to keep in mind is that the economy was really strong prior to this economic quarantine, is what we're calling it. We had the highest number of employment and the lowest rate of unemployment in February, and a really good, strong housing market. So due to this economic quarantine, it has kind of stopped all activity. People are getting laid off because it was created, not necessarily the fact that the economy was in recession, but we created this recession. And so one thing I do want our reader or our audience to kind of realize is that real estate, the supply was there prior to this created recession. And the demand is still going to be there after the recession. And so what does that mean for us, and what should we do? What I encourage everyone to do is that if you have a secure job, then to invest in real estate. And so real estate in general has always been a great investment for people. Just to give you some stats, renters in general have, they have about, their wealth is right around $5,000. That's their net worth. But if you are a homeowner, your net worth is around $200,000. And so as a Hmong realtor, I encourage our Hmong community to really invest in real estate. If you have the funds, if you have a stable job, it's always a good idea to invest. And then in terms of interest rates right now, it is very volatile, like what Callie mentioned. It's high and it's low, and the interest rates are primarily driven by the stock market. And because it's been unstable. That's the reason why you're seeing unstable interest rates. But historically, they are at their lowest point, and so it's a great idea to invest right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to like really stress on like your net worth being, because I mean, you build so much of that. You build so much. What is the word? Equity. You build equity in
Yes.
your home. And so that's, I know it's just like it's gone. But you do build equity in your home versus like when you rent. And so I think if it's something like you would have to kind of look at your all your finances, because there are definitely like different costs that comes with owning a home. But Olivia, I know you are building a house, so maybe you can kind of talk about, how that's looking like, and just, and
Yeah, I mean, this whole pandemic has definitely delayed the process. And so, in speaking to my loan officer, I'm really happy that we literally closed our loan, like, I think at the end of January before all of this went crazy. And so, right
Mhm.
now, the program that I had applied for, they don't even offer that anymore. But I know that, as of now, we're waiting for the city to issue permits. And that's being delayed, and because all of the non-essential businesses are closed, we can't really purchase products to build the house, so that's also going to be delayed. And so and looking for the house to be completed in the end of July or August, it's now being pushed back to maybe, gosh, who knows when. So it's definitely made an impact, but it is what it is. And we have a place to live. And so we're not super worried. But I think at the moment, it's just a matter of, really wanting to kind of get that done and over with and have the process start. So, everything has been turned into the city for about a month and a half now. And we're still kind of just waiting on permits. And with all of this happening, it's probably going to delay it even more. But, we'll just have to wait and see. But Shang, I did have one question for you. Do you have any tips for our audiences in regards to investing in real estate, right? Because I feel like a lot of times, not a lot of realtors are genuine like you are. They don't really care much about their clients. They care more about making the money. And so, I think at least for me, it's really hard to kind of want to invest in that when you don't really know a lot about real estate, or you don't really know a lot about investment. What do you do with your money, whether that's in the stock market or in real estate? What type of tips and tricks can you provide our audience to where they can actually start if they are interested in that?
So one thing I would recommend if you're wanting to invest is to pay attention to the cities that are around you. Figure out which cities are growing. That's the biggest thing, right? Because you want to make sure that if you're investing in a place that you're going to get that money back. And
Mhm.
so, one, finding a growing neighborhood that that's going to do well. And then another tip that I would recommend is going to rentometer.com. And so before you even purchase a property, you want to know how much you're going to put down, what your interest rate is going to look like. And the third thing is, how much are you going to be able to rent this property for? If you can't rent it for more than what your mortgage payment is that going to be a good idea? So cash flow is really important, but also what Callie mentioned, equity. If you can build equity on that property long term, then that's going to be a great investment.
what's the website again?
Rentometer.com. So it's rentometer.com.
Another way to pronounce it. Good job.
We'll definitely
So
put that.
the great thing about that website is that what it's going to do is it's going to pull up properties within a 1 mile radius of that property that you're looking at and what the rents are going for. And you can kind of gauge, okay, so this is what rents are going for. What is the low end? What is the high end? And what can I rent my property for?
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Awesome. And we did get a question from our audience. Is it a good time to refinance? So like me, I'm refinancing for personal reasons. But maybe you can touch on that.
That's a great question. That's tough because rates are so volatile right now. Right now, it's hovering right around 3.2%. Tomorrow, it could change. And so it's a really tough call. Like you said, it's going to come down to if you feel comfortable wanting to refinance today or if you want to hold off and wait to see if rates are going to be more stable.
Awesome, cool. Anything else to add, ladies?
Mm-mm.